It's Ethan here from Team Eclipse, bringing us a top 4 deck profile from Manaflux Regionals. I'm with Dillon Probert. What were you playing?
I was playing Mekk-Knight Invoked.
Okay, so as we can see here, he got the Mart, he earned himself a nice deck box, so let's get into the profile and see what we were playing exactly.
Alright, so standard for the Mekk-Knight Invoked deck, play your 3 Nightfall, because it's the main one you want to see if you're going first or if you're going second. If you're going second as well, you got your 3 Blue Sky. Mostly people run 2 over the 3, purely because they don't want to see it if your opponent calls that you go first instead.
So you were definitely aiming for the go second?
Yeah. I was
all or nothing.
Hoping on going second, yeah. Which I did most of the time. Lastly, for the package of Mekk-Knights, you play the 1 Indigo and 1 Red Moon. The Red Moon was there just to get rid of any problem monsters, which I ended up facing quite a lot of the time. I ended up staring down Masterpieces and Vortex Dragons.
Have you considered running any of the other Mekk-Knights? Because I've seen that we do have some others that do pop up now and then.
I've considered running the Yellow Star, considering...
So why is that one?
Yellow Star can pop a spell trap on the field.
So you're using that one as like an auto anti-spell, I'm guessing? Yeah. Rivalry?
Yeah. Anything that would somewhat screw me over or hinder my chances of playing through my Invoke stuff instead.
Sounds pretty interesting.
Yeah, that's it for the Mekk-Knight package. For the Invoked, play 3 Alistair, because you want to maximise your chances of seeing him, and he's the main monster of the deck. And traps, play 3 Ash, and 3 Ogre. Ash is there for whenever you want to make Purgatrio, or just a blatant out to stop the Goki combos, or possibly hit a Demise or Diagram.
Yeah.
That's it for the monsters.
So it's pretty standard so far, like.
Yep. Your other 6 Alistair in the deck, your Terraformings, and your 3 Meltdown.
Oh, well, Terraforms at 3, might as well run 3.
Yep. You may as well. Like, this is too good of a card to pass up when it comes to getting your Alistair out of the deck. Next, you have your 3 Invocation.
Yep.
I chose to run 3 over 2 because I want to see it. And if people Ash my Alistair, then he's kind of sitting on the field and not doing anything, and I don't really want to have that. Plus, as we don't have many links at the moment, like Alistair the Meltdown Invoker, it's kind of hard to just get him off the field. Next, you have 3 Mind Control, staple in Mekk-Knight Invoked. You can just nick your opponent's link monsters, link with it, or use it for a fusion summon.
Yeah.
2 Spellbook Knowledge. I decided to run Knowledge over Desires because I personally think it suits me better, as Desires sometimes give me bad draws, but there were times in the tournament where I think Desires would have been better over the Spellbook Knowledge.
So something you might consider changing?
Yeah, I'm considering changing that out. Next, 2 Scapegoat.
Yeah.
I run 2 Scapegoat over 1 of 3 because I don't want to see it, but if I do see it, then it's there for the Mekk-Knight plays, or there to get my Borrow Load or whatever else. 1-offs, play Raigeki and your Instant Fusion. Instant Fusion got me out of quite a lot of sticky situations where I was staring down a Masterpiece immune to spells and traps, and the Raijin really messes him up when you just flip him on the summon and they obviously can't respond in the summon window. Next, for proxies, because I had to give the cards back, 2 Typhoons.
So how did the 2 Typhoons work over Cosmic Cyclones or MSTs?
It worked brilliantly, as sometimes I was staring down the anti-spell, and I didn't actually have the answer at the time for it.
So you were able to top deck out.
Yeah, I
of
was
it,
able
more or
to
less.
top deck
Yeah.
out of it instead of just waiting a turn.
It gives you access to Mekk-Knight trap negates then, too,
Yep.
I'm guessing. Yeah.
Yep, as trap negates are kind of crucial in this deck as the majority of it is.
It's going to be a lot more viable when old guys become a thing.
Yeah. And last but not least, the MVP of the deck is running 3 Infinite Transients.
Right, so tell me why you're running 3, because I've seen people go crazy about this card saying it's awful, don't run it. 2, it push, and regret even buying it. So,
Well, with Infinite Transients, it thrives more, it shows its value when you're going second, as opposed to going first. As I've seen in most other people's decks, people have decided to run it in a going first deck, and even then, it's setting a card, but like, it's nothing more than just, it's there just to negate a spell or a trap. It's just there for like an extra extender or like a play.
so
Just
is this
negate
better? Is this better for your deck over Effect Veiler, or
Yes, I believe it's better for my deck over Effect Veiler, as Effect Veiler sometimes it just isn't enough, and if they sometimes just summon a monster but you want to deal with it on your turn instead of on your opponent's turn, because you can't really.
did you
If you-
ever find yourself managing to use it from Mekaba's effect, or did that just not seem an option?
That didn't seem an option, really. Like, it didn't really come up. Every time I used it defensively. And it really pulled me through. Like, some of the hard times of when I was staring down either a rivalry or an anti-spell.
I guess it's mainly probably for Masterpiece due to a Masterpiece can show that they're not going to make it trap immune, so
Yeah.
it's
as well.
more or less an ins and out to Masterpiece, but yeah.
It was also there to shut off rivalries sometimes, as I'd summon a Mekk-Knight and they just flip rivalry on me, and then I couldn't use Invoked. So I'd set it.
Sometimes you
wait
just
for a
call them
turn.
effect then.
Yeah, I'd sometimes use its column effect, which ended up saving me in my last round, as the person flipped rivalry on me turn 1 when I summoned Nightfall, and it didn't go all too well because I opened the Scapegoat and an Alistair, so I just set Scapegoat and set impermanence behind the rivalry, which then helped me out quite a lot because I just sniped the one of its monsters with impermanence when it tried to do its effect, and then I just shut off rivalry and then end phase Scapegoat and smack the game.
That's pretty good then. So let's see the extra deck then, shall we?
Yep. For the extra deck, standard, you got your Borrow Load, your Saryuja. I chose to run Griffin just in case I came across the Goki players and then they just tried to full lock me with the extra link, and I had cherries waiting in the side deck, so I could rip this from them if they full lock me game 1, and then game 2 I
Did you
just
ever see yourself attempting to summon it yourself off Scapegoat, or
I did try to summon it quite a few times, and I did summon it the once, and it won me the game against Pendulum Magician, as I summoned Borrow Load, knit their Electromite, and then used 2 other monsters with Electromite and made this, which I then used it to set Scapegoat again, or Invocation
wow.
from the graveyard. This is also a complete and utter blowout when it comes to Pendulums if they don't make the Electromite, as even if they do make Electromite, you can't use this effect on summon or at all until he is linked. One card, just because Invoked hate back row and hate getting either striked or anti-spelled, Topologic Trisbana.
yeah?
It was there because it has synergy with the Mekk-Knights, as they're all special summons, so you use this and any Mekk-Knight to rip all your opponent's back row from them, and then you normal summon your Alistair, and then make your Griffin, and then after that with the Alistair you can just make your Mekk-Knight off the Mekk-Knight. Link 2's Underclock Taker. That's saved me so many games. In my last game, on the final round, Underclock Taker plus Purgatrio is an absolute blowout to True Draco if they don't get their Masterpiece out. And I just attacked over everything and smacked the game.
Yep.
Proxy Dragon, believe it or not, I actually used its effects to destroy a card whenever Masterpiece tried to snipe one of my back row. So I just destroyed the token next to it instead.
That's pretty good.
Which ended up also winning me the game because he didn't expect it. 2 Link Spider for obviously the Borrowload play with the Proxy Dragon. My spicy one-off being Hope Harbinger. It was there to either protect the Borrowload, which this is really easy to make in Mekk-Knight Invoked, as you can just use Nightfall and Indigo if you want to. Or I have Kaijus which are level 8s, and you just mind control and steal it and make that.
Oh wow,
Protect your
that's pretty good, yeah.
Sometimes I ended up making it just so I could protect my Sayuja, so he could at least do the special summon and also to protect me from border wipes.
Yeah.
For Invoked, 1 Raijin. It's the instant fusion and it was immediate out to any boss monster. If they couldn't stop the meltdown, and I had instant fusion, which I ended up slowing down a vortex one time, so I bait out the negate, used Raijin to flip over the monster negate one on its summon, and obviously they can't respond because of the time window. So yeah, that was just really good altogether. I also used that against a Magispectre player, which ended up winning me the game because I stole his Lightning Chidori, used that to bounce back his Electromite, and then just dropped Alistair and smacked the game. Standard, Mekk-Knight, however I ran 3, because I don't know why. Invoked Elysium did not work for me, and whenever I would try and summon it in my testing, it just didn't work out and wasn't really as effective as I'd liked it to be. And last but not least, the OTK of the deck, Invoked Purgatrio.
How many times did you manage to decay someone with that card then?
Most of my games I 2-0'd, however I did get 2-0'd myself one time against True Draco. Every time I summoned this, it was an immediate OTK, as I just dropped Alistair and smacked over everything when I just... sometimes I ended up going against an Ultimate Conductor, and I'd steal it and use its effect to Puka-Moon something, and then I'd just go into Invoke Purgatrio off of like an Ash Blossom, and then just smack over everything again. Dropping Alistair.
It's impressive. So let's see what you decided for the event.
That's it for the extra deck. For side, I had 1 Winter Cherries, just in case I went against the mirror match, or obviously you'll find out later on as to what else I'm siding in my side deck. But this was also a blowout to any deck that would rely on, say, a boss monster like Borrowload, e.g. Trickstars, or the Gokis, as I mentioned, with the Lockout and Griffin, because I kind of need my special summon monsters effects, or sometimes I just make it. Also, 3 Realm Lock Bird, because this is just an absolute blowout to Goki. They just search off the 1 card. They search off any Goki monster, they search their rematch or their headbutt that, and I just roll them and they just stop for their turn.
Yep.
Standard, 3 Kaijus, because Masterpiece is just too strong against this deck. If they summon it immune to monsters and spells, then you can't really get around it all too much.
You don't have to worry about that anymore.
I know. Thank God we don't have to worry about that anymore. Weirdly enough, I sided 2 Call by the Grave instead of 3. 2 Call by the Grave I found to be more consistent, as I sometimes see it more off of the draw effect off Sayuja, or I just see it off of my draws off knowledge, or just top deck it for turn.
Yeah.
This hit quite a lot of decks like World Chalice. That was one of my matchups, which I 2-0'd, and I would have actually lost if not for this card. As Call by the Grave hits the World Legacy World Chalice dude, it summons 2 from the deck, and that just completely stops him in his tracks.
The tribute summon.
Yeah, the tribute summon, which I just smacked again after that. 2-dimensional barrier, in case Pendulum Magician made me go first, and I just pull Pendulum and just win. 3-red reboot, because this deck hates traps, and just hates Paleo. I don't know why, this deck just sometimes can't win against Paleo.
Too many disruptions.
Yeah. And 2 Draco if they're running the Erupt variant. And last but not least, the 1 Electromite, because you want to just out-pen them immediately. You don't want to let them get too far and get their Vortex and their unbreakable board. And yeah, that's it.
So, do you think you'd change anything about the deck moving on for the format, or do you think it was all pretty solid?
I'd definitely change out the Ogre and put in the Droll, as we seem to be going into a Nightmare-heavy format, where they do that whole draw 1, and then they just try to extend and then keep on starting.
The Nightmares have got a lot of draw power.
The Gokis, they keep on adding back the Phoenix Blade to discard it to draw 1, and yeah, if you just stop that, then they all just stop for the turn.
So before we finish the video, you got any shout-outs or anything that you would like to add to the video?
Shout-outs to Team Eclipse, all my friends and family that have supported me, and my captain, Ethan, for lending me the cards, as well as Seb, which he owed me, but lent me his Typhoons.
Yeah. Just before we go, what were your matchups then? Because you went 5-1, so as we know, you lost to Draco, but let's hear.
First round, I went against 60 card BA. Second round, I went against Goki Nightmare.
So all these were 2-0s, wasn't it?
2-0s, yeah.
Yeah.
Third round, which I lost to Sab, was against Draco. Fourth round was World Chalice, which I 2-0'd once again, thanks to Call by the Grave. Round 5 was, oh god, I don't remember now. It was Pendulum Magician, that's it. Which I ended up ripping their Electromite and winning because of it. And last but not least, I went against Draco, which was my hardest match overall, as he seemed to play really well and really conservatively and wait for the right moment to hand trap me or flip an anti-spell or something on me. And yeah.
Okay, well, thank you for the video and enjoy.